So hello, Ali. Thank you for meeting me today. Congratulations once more for reaching your target. And I just want you to introduce yourself to our community.
Thanks, Frederica. I appreciate you taking time to have this discussion. Very encouraging. Thank you very much. Thanks to you and thanks to AudaCity Capital. I came across this platform quite incidentally. Sometimes you have ads going on and you click or you press a key and you end up with them. So yes, I have been trading for 11, 12 years, off and on primarily, but the concept of proprietary trading, the concept of taking the capital from a firm which is involved into this was new to me. So when I got it, initially I was told that to qualify for this, I will go through a series of interviews. And if I remember correctly, there were a couple of them. They asked me my background, my approach, how do I do that? So coming to your question, I've been involved with trading for more than 10 years, primarily an aviation professional, not a full-time trader. So whenever I get time, I do that. So what I've tried to learn, and also because of my IT background, I'm very comfortable with the AI. So whenever I get time, I do analysis and I then apply it on AudaCity Capital.
Okay, so you have been in the industry for the past 10 years, you were saying on and off, but it's the first time that you manage a prop trading firm capital. Before that, were you only managing your personal funds?
Yeah, that's it. I was only doing it for my personal fund, so that was not so organized, not so frequent.
Okay, I see. And with us is mainly Forex. This is at least to begin with. When you were managing your capital, were you also focusing on the Forex market, on currencies, or were you trading different financial assets as well?
Well, actually, I'm doing it with different brokers, and generally brokers offer with Forex indices and crypto. So I did it, and then some commodities, CFDs. So I have done that. But my most of my experience is with Forex, especially, I have done some formal courses with several other companies to learn trading. I have learned through the indicators, developed my own strategies, but I would say 80% Forex.
Okay. Do you have a specific pair that you like to trade or just in general?
In general, nothing specific. Again, I would say that with my personal experience, some trades have, some pairs have very high spreads. So I generally avoid that because my strategies are short-term strategies, so they don't really work very well. But with AudaCity Capital, another thing I noticed that a pretty consistent low spread. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And tell me something more about the strategy that you use. You say that you prefer using algos since you have an IT background, so it's quite understandable, but you do your analysis as well. How do you combine the two things? Tell me, explain to me.
The purpose of this is to save on my time. I just cannot sit in front of screens and we miss the opportunity. So the approach that I take is that on Saturday, Friday afternoon, evening, Saturday or Sunday, I see where we are going. I primarily focus on Fibonacci. So I look at the Fibonacci points where it has reached, and that would help me shortlist the pairs. So when I come down to the pair, I'm looking at the long-term trend, that's like weekly and monthly trends. Within those trends, I am taking the help of Fibonacci. And then I focus down to those pairs who I think are going to take a particular direction in the following week. So once I've done that, then I would deploy the robot, the AI EAs. And the goal of those EAs is to primarily take the trades based on the direction that I have set up. And that is roughly working around averages. So EMAs, so 200 days EMA and then average EMA. So that gives us the entry points. The management of the equity is mostly, I keep it very low. Like you notice that I've only opened trades of 0.01. So it's like a micro lot. Yeah. But when it starts to go in the direction, the robot can take up to 4 more trades. So it is going up to 0.05 per pair.
Okay. So basically, just to sum up, to see if I understood correctly, you shortlist the pairs on a higher time frame using Fibonacci, and then you set your EA based on moving averages on a shorter period, shorter time frame, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and which time frame you use for that?
For entry,
Mm-hmm.
for entry, I'm using mostly 15 minutes.
15 minutes. Okay, that's actually really interesting. It's very good. Let's talk a bit about money management and risk management. You say you use micro lots and all, but how do you actually then control the risk? Do you have a specific risk to reward ratio that you look for? You manage the trade, the EA manage the trade along the way. How does that work? How does that part work for you?
I think for me it's quite simple and straightforward. Well, since I was using this EA on my personal accounts and I saw that it is taking a drawdown of 30 to 40%, I was using mostly micro lot 0.1.
Okay.
So when I switched on to AudaCity Capital, I thought that I will keep it at 0.01. And in the simple maths, if it was 30 to 35% with 0.1, with the micro lot, it would be 3.3 to 4%. So 3 to 4% is the risk that I am taking, because that's something which, again, it's more of a responsibility. You're trading on someone else's capital. So you have to be very careful.
Okay. And how is it going so far for you? Like the experience of passing from managing your personal funds to managing a funding provider capital. How are you finding that?
Well, I still have to find a solution for one thing, because the company doesn't allow us to trade when there is high volatility, when announcements. Right. So I have to keep a tab of it. But I have noticed that whenever there is a high volatile announcement coming in, I get an email. So that's a discipline that I have to take into account. Other than that, this strategy is very well done, because again, I do not like to hold the trades over the weekend, because when I'm doing analysis on Saturday, Sunday, mostly the trends are either achieved. Now, again, I'm also not looking to keep the target, because I'm working on a target to reach 10% at roughly around 2 months' time. So right now, I was able to do that in a little more than that, because again, I wasn't consistent in giving time. So there were gap weeks. So for weeks, I will not trade. But if I do it consistently, I think 2 months or 2 to 3 months is a good time to reach a 10% target with this equity management. Very good.
Very good. And at the same time, are you also using your EA on your personal funds?
Yes, I've been doing it for a long time.
Okay, that's fine. So I actually have a question for you, because there is a lot of discussion going on about, like, trusting an EA or do things purely discretionary and monthly. I think I know what's your view on that, since you're coming from an IT background. But for someone that is actually new to the industry and has to decide if rely on an EA, perhaps developed from someone else, or learning how to trade and develop his own discretionary decision about the market, what's your view on that? And what suggestion, what recommendation could you give to those people?
I will break down my answer into 3 parts. Going back to the first part of your question, the first thing is that what is the advice? So to begin with, the advice that what I have learned is that it is not important if you are right or wrong. It is absolutely not important that if you are able to pick a trade that say, okay, this particular pair is going to go up or it's going to go down. That becomes irrelevant in a bigger picture. So what is important is a risk management. So how do you do that? When you go right, you take a good profit. When you go wrong, you come out as a right time.
Small loss.
So that becomes this emotional part, the psychological part. And then that's where the bots come in. So they work without the intervention of any human emotions. So you have defined your parameters, you leave them alone, and they will do it. So that basically overcoming the shortfall in the emotional decisions are cut out. And the third and the last part with respect to your question is that how much can we trust EAs? I think, EAs, this market is so volatile that you cannot entirely leave it to EAs. So you have to have human interventions. Either you do it on a short-term basis, like every day you look at it. But then again, my target is not to become a slave of the computer, not to keep looking at the screens all the time. So we have to give them, and at times it happens that I'm in very close to my target profit, and then the market turns against me and I close in a loss. So but that is something that we have to accept, because we are relying on keeping our time short in front of computer.
Of course. Good. So yes to EA, but there is still a part that needs to be managed from a person.
Yeah, we can break it down into few things. First is that picking up the pair, which pair to trade, and then which direction to trade in that pair. So that two parts, I do it manually.
Okay. Very good. That's very interesting, actually. Thank you for sharing that with me. And so far, this is your first experience with a funding provider. How are you finding AudaCity so far? How is it going, your journey with us?
Okay, when we're going with prop trades, the biggest things, again, we have blogs, we have, my circle of people that I interact with. The first thing that came to my mind was that why would not every trader use the prop count? So I did discuss. So one of the fears that come to your mind is that, okay, when you do put in your time, they change the rules. They do not, get your share across to you in a timely manner. So that was honestly my fears in the beginning, but turned out that it was so smooth and so quick that I'm really astonished.
Very good.
So and then now look at the other bright side, that when you keep increasing the capital, you're taking away the pressure of reaching higher percentage. That means that the strategy can be more strict in terms of risk management, but still you achieve a higher monetary benefit. So that's what I'm looking at in the long term.
Very good. Well, thank you. We are happy that we changed your mind in terms of prop being quick and in sharing profits and doubling the account. We are taking a lot of pride on that, because when that happens, we know we're traders, as I always repeat. So we know that behind someone reaching target, there is a lot of effort and there is a lot of work behind. So we don't want the subsequent part to be an hassle as well. So we try to make the process very, very smooth for our traders, because they deserve that. At the end of the day, we share profits with them 50-50. So if we managed to get our 50% of profit, it's thank you to that effort that our traders made. So Ali, thank you very much for sharing your story with me. I really, really appreciated this meeting. And again, congratulations for your first target. And I really look forward to see you progressing with our account.
Thank you very much. And you're welcome. And thank you for taking time as well.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.